صل على نبينا صل على محمد صل على سفينا صل على محمد.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm introducing you to our friend Habibur Rahman Saab. He's from Willingboro Jamaat. He accepted Ahmadiyyat on after 28th of May when we have the incident of Shohada in Lahore. Habibur Rahman Saab, will you tell us something about the background and will you come across with Ahmadiyyat?
I've been with Ahmadiyyat all my life basically. I grew up in a neighborhood where our corner mosque was an Ahmadi mosque. And my teachers in school were pretty much all Ahmadi teachers. So I grew up with them, but for some reason I was never had the chance to take the bath. And finally when I saw last year what happened, I decided it's time to come out and show my feelings to the rest of the world.
So when you come in USA, your first time you went over there?
Yes.
Yes? And after 14 years you go over there again, right?
All my life.
Yeah, but
with all my brothers.
his sister, his father, all live in Karachi. I mean, he was telling us when he was going to, his teacher was a lady, Ahmadiyyat teacher lady, and every day he go over there. So he watched some photograph on the wall, Hazur, Khalifa Awwal and Khalifa Sani, Khalifa Rabi, and always put the question to her, who are these? These are our elders. So once he was pressing her to explain who are these people are. Then he explained, then she told him they are our Khalifas. And she explained everything over there. He's the first Khalifa and the second Khalifa and the third Khalifa. So then he decided to go to the mosque for prayer. On one Friday, he went over there. So when he prayed over there and come out, he saw a lot of people are coming, including his brother and your father too.
Yes.
They were coming toward him, and they say, oh, the mullah people are there too. Say, oh, he's your son. Why did you go over there? He said, I just go to say the prayer, Jummah prayer. So they started to beat, and his father and his brother, they tell to mullahs, beat him. Then he decided mentally they were the true people.
All I want to say is
Then he didn't go anywhere in Ahmadiyya mosque or somewhere. So after when he came to USA, first time he went to the mosque. Then did you talk to your parents or some people?
No, my parents are deceased.
No, but you told me, when you go the first time here and you explained to your sister and your father, they say, you shouldn't go. Why did you go over there? Then he decided not to go over there. When this incident happened, Shohada incident, so he watched everything. Even he don't have a Jadoo TV or MTA, nothing. He watched everything from BBC. So when he watched a 3 hours program from there, they say they are the true people. I have not to waste any time. Right now I have to go and accept Islam. Ahmadiyyat.
And secondly, after the incident of the Shohada in Lahore, that really motivated his heart, and he came back to his roots, which was the Ahmadiyyat, and he went to the Ahmadiyya Mosque in Willingboro, New Jersey, and in a couple of days he signed the Bai'at. So we lost maybe 86 martyrs, but Allah Almighty out of those martyrs has recreated the new Ahmadi Muslim, and one of them is our dear brother Habibur Rahman. His children do come to the mosque for the children classes, for the fall classes, and we are praying that may Allah Almighty show his wife the path of Islam and Ahmadiyyat. Amen.
Yeah, Amen.
And I would love to say that we should pray for every Ahmadi who's in Pakistan, because what they are going through.
Even we should pray for every Muslim too. What's going on over there, we don't like this too. I mean, love Pakistan, love people of Pakistan too.
But what they are facing prosecution every day, that we're living in a free society over here.
Yeah.
With every prayer, every namaz, we should pray for them
Yeah.
because they're the true heroes right now. Without them, their sacrifice, this gain is nothing because they're the true heroes for us.
You were telling me that time in the mosque in Darul-Zikr, where this accident happened, especially when you saw the kids like
Yes.
6-year-old.
Yes.
His father was going to death, and the 6-year-old little guys was over there. They say, "Give water to my dad.
Yes, I heard.
Give water to my dad." BBC show everything. He watched them. He said, "Oh my God."
That was very
Yeah, very,
heartbreaking. I saw
very.
that there was a very young kid, was around 6 years old,
Yeah.
and his father was dying in front of him, and he begged somebody give him water or some kind of medical assistance. So instead of doing anything, he saw his father died in front of him. So that was a breaking point.
Yeah, breaking point.
I said I cannot hide my true feelings, what I really believe in, because that's the right way to do it.
Okay,
And this is one of our brothers who took me under my wing. He's the true. This is one of our brothers who guided me every possible way. Him and Dr. Safi. There. If I have ever had a question, they actually inspire me to come to Ansar classes all the time. Because before that, I used to come to the mosque, and Dr. Safi and Nasir Bhai actually encouraged me to come to the Ansar class to enhance my knowledge more. Because the more you learn, a better Ahmadi, a better Muslim you become. And maybe that will give you more inspiration to teach my kids how to become a better Ahmadi, better Muslim.
I'm not a talker, but in response to that, I can say only one thing. जिसकी फितरत नेक है आएगा वो अंजाम का. That's all I can say. So he.
That what it means. That is one of the Urdu poem of the Prophet Musa alayhi salam, and in that he says, "हर तरफ आवाज़ देना है हमारा काम आज." That it is our duty that we give the message of Islam and Ahmadiyat in each and every corner of the world. जिसकी फितरत नेक है वो आएगा अंजाम कार, and whosoever have a clean heart will surely be attracted to this message of Islam and Ahmadiyat.
I just want to say all the teachers at my Air Force School, PAF Moral School, Karachi, at Shara Faisal, and the teachers, God bless them all, Miss Razia Sultana, Dr. Rafiq, that they were the true inspiration behind everything.
one more.
They're the one who actually introduced me to Ahmadiyya at a very young age.
So one more question to you. I mean, before accepting,
Especially my math teacher, Miss Razia Sultana. God bless her.
you see, what did you feeling? What did you feeling? I mean, before when you not accepted the MBA? So when you go to your teacher's house, right? So listen here. When you go to your teacher's house.
What is
So I mean,
just one second. What do you feel after you have accepted the Ahmadiyyat now, and what do you feel about the concept of Ahmadiyyat, and what the spiritual changes you have seen in you after a year you have accepted the Ahmadiyyat?
I think from a very young age, I had this question that I never was answered truly. That I used to see a chaos, and I was never inspired by the mosque I used to go in. And I asked my father, who was an army officer, that how come we don't have a leader? Because I used to learn from my teacher. She used to give me a magazine, a Risala used to publish in Rabwa. And I saw the pictures, and I used to read as a very young age that there is got to be a structure, that you being lead from the top, that you have a guidance, you have a spiritual leader who guides you to become a better Muslim. And when I asked that question to my father and my parents, they never fulfilled what I wanted to hear. So that thing was all the time never answered. Finally, when I was old enough to know myself, I was basically not living in Pakistan. So I said to myself when I lived in America that this is the time that I shouldn't waste more time to show my true feelings, what I am actually.
No, actually, I want to ask you before when you go your society people, right?
I never did.
No, your parents, your uncles, and your aunts, and everywhere. What do you think? What they think about the MDA? If you say
Actually,
no, listen. The people say, I mean, they don't have a kalma la ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. They say something different. Did you feel any different when you accepted
No,
them?
no.
So let them know. Let them know. The
I
same
think,
kalma. Same
this is
God,
a very big
same
misconception
everything.
that that very good question.
Yeah.
I actually have this lengthy conversation with everybody who's non-Ahmadi that there's a big misconception that we don't practice Islam the right way. We never actually we never change anything in Quran or the Hadith, which is a big misconception in a Pakistani society that we did that. So I plead with everybody, before you make allegations, read.
Yeah.
Before you say anything to anybody, if you don't do your research, don't say anything.
Don't say anything. I mean, you know.